Linda, 67 years old. A former teacher, energetic and sharp-tongued. She is a widow. She lives in her own house which she and her late husband bought 30 years ago. Ashley, 35 years old, works in a law firm. She always wanted more than she had. It seemed that success was in her hands, but life did not go according to plan. Linda stood by the kitchen window, watching the dusk fall. Her cat Murphy rubbed against her legs, reminding her that it was time for dinner. But today, Linda was in no hurry to pick up the food bowl. Her mind was far away. It all started a few weeks ago when she noticed that her daughter was acting strangely. She came home less often, spoke in a strained voice, and then started avoiding meetings altogether. Today, Ashley suddenly showed up without warning. As she sat down at the kitchen table, folded her arms across her chest, and took a deep breath. "Mom, we need to talk." "Oh, you know it's getting harder for you to live alone," Ashley began, sighing. "The big house, the bills, the shopping. And I'm away, I have a job, a life." Linda pressed her lips together. "What are you getting at?" I found a great place. A home for the elderly. They have everything for you care, comfort, company." Ashley spoke in a steady voice, as if she were offering her mother a tourist trip. "Are you serious?" "Anna," Linda's voice trembled. "Mom, don't be a child. This is the best option." Linda sat up slowly, her hands shaking. "I'm not an old lady, Ashley. I can take care of myself." Ashley crossed her arms and sighed. "Oh, Mom, it's already been decided." "By whom?" Her daughter looked away in silence. Linda stood up and looked at her intently. "You're hiding something." "Mom." Ashley paused. "I sold the house." There was silence. The world around Linda froze. The cat stopped rubbing against her legs and froze as if he sensed something wrong. "You?" "What?" Ashley repeated. Linda clenched her fists. "That's impossible. It's my house." "No, Mom." You had no right to do that." Ashley held up a hand to stop her. "The house was in Dad's name, and then after he died, it was in my name. You were just living here." Linda took a step back. "So that's why you didn't come here much. But you had other things to do. And it's for the best, Mom. You'll be safe." "Safe." Linda laughed, but it was a harsh and joyless laugh. She could feel something dark rising inside her, fear giving way to anger. "When do I have to leave?" "Emelinova, in 3 weeks. And you decided to tell me this now. I thought you would agree without any emotion." "Without any emotion?" Linda took a deep breath. Her daughter had betrayed her. She'd just thrown her away like she didn't need her. But Linda wasn't the type to give up that easily. She looked at Ashley and no longer saw the little girl she had once taught to ride a bike. In front of her sat a cold-blooded woman who thought only of herself. Linda straightened up and forced a smile. "Okay, what? If you think this is the right decision." Ashley breathed a sigh of relief. "Mom, I knew you were smart." Linda nodded, but a plan was already forming in her mind. It wasn't over yet. Linda couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned in bed, listening to the clock ticking on the wall, and remembering every word Ashley had said. Her own daughter sold the house behind her back. She wanted to shove her into a nursing home like an unwanted item. But why so suddenly? Why now? Linda felt that something was wrong. In the morning she went down to the kitchen. Ashley was on the phone. "Yes, the deal is almost closed. I know it's risky." Her daughter's voice was muffled but tense. "It just takes a little time." "The house is sold. I'll get the money in 2 weeks." Ashley continued. "No, she doesn't know anything. Ashley thinks it's for her own good." Linda felt a cold anger flare up in her chest. Ashley ended the conversation and turned around. "I just couldn't sleep," she said calmly. Ashley nodded and started making coffee. What do you have planned for today?" Linda asked, sitting down at the table. "The buyer. The new owner of the house," Ashley replied. "He wants to check everything over again before the final signing." And after her daughter left, Linda went up to her room. She wasn't in the habit of going through other people's things, but this time was different. She opened a desk drawer. There was a folder with documents. The first page reading, real estate sale. Seller Ashley Carter. Buyer Jackson Investments. Linda pursed her lips. Ashley hadn't just sold the house. She had sold it to a real estate resale company. And that meant one thing: the house would be destroyed or sold quickly for a fortune. She flipped through the pages until she saw what mattered. The amount of the deal. $600,000. Linda's eyes widened. That's it, she whispered. That was a lot of money. Much more than the house was worth. Then Linda realized something else. Ashley was in debt. Why else would she sell the house so quickly? Why such a large sum of money? And Linda remembered how a few months ago her daughter had told her about problems at work. She was afraid of losing her job. Then everything came together. Ashley was in a financial hole. She decided to pull herself out at her mother's expense. Linda felt a chill run through her body. This was not just a betrayal. This was use. She put the documents back and closed the drawer. She took a deep breath. Now she knew the truth. But the question was different. What was she going to do about it? Linda looked at her reflection in the mirror. An old lady. No, she is a woman who is not going to give up. And if Ashley is playing dirty, then Linda will learn to play even better. Linda sat in her room, clutching her phone, her heart racing. She didn't know what to do. Her house was sold. Her daughter had deceived her, and she had nothing. Linda remembered the story of her friend Mary. Last year, her son had put her in a nursing home. "You'll be better off there, Mom," he said. Mary cried, but he just signed the papers and left. A few months later, she was gone. Linda imagined herself sitting in a cold room with strangers. How her freedom was being taken away from her. How she would become just another old lady who was spoon-fed and had to call a nurse for every little thing. No, this is not her destiny. But what can she do? She picked up the phone and dialed her lawyer's number. "Hello, this is Linda Carter." Linda. "Oh, hi. How are you? I have a question. If my daughter sold the house without my knowledge..." Wait a minute. Without your knowledge?" Yes. Who was the owner?" Linda closed her eyes. It turns out she was. There was silence on the phone. Melinda. There's nothing you can do about it. Linda almost dropped the phone, feeling helpless. What's next? Wait for them to evict her. She got up and started pacing the room. Her life was falling apart. Her daughter, the very girl she had raised, cherished, and poured her heart and soul into, had simply betrayed her, and all for the sake of money. Linda sat on the bed and stared out the window. She was not weak. She had been teaching children for 30 years. She had survived the death of her husband, and she would survive this. But she had to act, and she had to act now. Linda no longer felt fear. She sat at the kitchen table, holding a notebook in front of her. Her daughter wanted to get rid of her. She wanted to take the house. She wanted to leave her with nothing, but Linda would not allow it. She was not a stupid old woman, and she was definitely not defenseless. She laid out all her cards in front of her. What did she know? First, the house was sold to a real estate company. Second, the amount of the transaction was many times higher than the real value of the house. Third, Ashley was in debt. And fourth, the deal was not yet finalized, which meant there was still time. Linda knew her daughter well, though Ashley had always been confident in her intelligence. But Linda was older, more experienced. She had taught hundreds of children, and she knew exactly how human psychology works. Ashley was playing a great game, but even the smartest people make mistakes. And Linda would find that mistake. She went back up to her daughter's room. She opened the same drawer. This time she looked more carefully. And there it was, a copy of the sales contract. She quickly skimmed the text. This is what she was looking for. The deposit clause: the buyer paid only 10% of the amount. The main payment was due in 2 weeks, which meant if something went wrong, the deal could fall through. Linda knew what to do. She put the documents back in place, and when Ashley returned home, Linda was waiting for her with tea. How was your day?" Ashley eyed her suspiciously. It was fine. Everything going according to plan. A cook or what? Linda smiled. Oh, the house. The sale. Ashley relaxed. Yeah. Linda took a sip of her tea. You were right. This is the best option for me. Ashley breathed a sigh of relief. Abonag, as she hadn't realized that her mother had already started the game, and that the ending would be nothing like she had imagined. Linda knew that if you want to defeat the enemy, make them think they have already won. Anoana, she had to play the role of a weak, helpless mother who accepted her fate, and she had to do it without Ashley even suspecting the trap. The next morning, Linda came into the kitchen in a bathrobe, disheveled, with tired eyes. As Ashley was drinking coffee and flipping through her phone. Did you sleep well, Mom? Linda sighed. Not really. I cried a lot last night. Ashley tensed but quickly hid her emotion. Mom, I told you this was the best decision. Linda nodded. Yeah, you're right. It's hard to accept. She sat down at the table, picked up a cup, and wrapped her hands around it uncertainly. I guess I really can't do it alone. Ashley relaxed a little. See, you'll be more comfortable in a home. They'll take good care of you. Linda shook her head. I guess so. But can we stay a little longer? Ashley tensed. Mom, the deal is almost done. Linda looked down. I know. I want to get used to the idea. Ashley calmed down a little. She believed him. You know, I've been thinking. Linda made a sad face. What if I die in there really fast? Ashley paled a little. Mom, what are you talking about? I've read that older people die faster if they are taken away from their homes. Ashley rolled her eyes in annoyance. I'm just scared. It's going to be okay, Ashley almost shouted. It's already been decided. Linda shook her head. Okay. I'll take it. The next day, Linda went even further. She started forgetting things, spilling tea, stopping in the middle of a sentence, as if she had lost her train of thought. Ashley started to get nervous. Mom, what's wrong? Linda gave her a blank stare. A what? Can you hear me? Yeah. She stammered. What were we talking about? Ashley looked at her intently. Mom, are you okay? Linda shook her head. I don't know. Maybe it's nerves. Ashley swallowed. She was beginning to doubt. But Linda knew that the trap was about to close. Linda felt it was time to act. She had already sowed doubt in Ashley. She had made her think that her mother had become weak. Now she had to take control. Linda deliberately stopped discussing the sale of the house. She didn't mention the nursing home. She didn't even ask when she would be evicted. Ashley noticed this and panicked. Mom, haven't you forgotten that we're moving out in a week? Linda nodded thoughtfully. Yes. I just don't have the energy to think about it. Ashley was surprised. Inale, she had expected a riot, a scandal, a plea. Instead, she got indifference. Linda sighed. I guess you're right. I can't decide anything anymore. Ashley was relieved but also a little worried. Something was wrong. But what? 2 days before the final sale, Linda made her move. She called a lawyer she had known since high school. She explained the situation, and he found a loophole. The next morning, Linda was sitting at her desk when Ashley walked in. Linda, Mom, we need to pack. Linda looked at her calmly. Everything is canceled. Ashley froze. What? The sale? It's not happening. Ashley burst out laughing. Mom, that's impossible. The papers are signed. But not all of them. Ashley paled. I have veto power. Linda smiled. Have you forgotten I'm part owner? Ashley's eyes widened. What? I filed a fraudulent conveyance. The sale is on hold. Ashley was speechless. Linda leaned forward. Occur. Game over, daughter? Ashley sat down. Her plan was over, and Linda, she had taken it all back, and now she made the rules. Ashley sat at the kitchen table, clutching her phone, her face pale and her fingers trembling. Linda calmly sipped her coffee. I already did. Ashley huffed nervously. Mom, it's illegal. Oh, really? Then why did the lawyer say the deal was frozen? Ashley's eyes darted around the room as if looking for a way out. Linda, on the other hand, was enjoying the moment. For the first time in a long time, she was in control. You didn't have money for a lawyer, Ashley muttered. Linda smiled. Yes, but I have friends. That was true. Her old high school colleague, Julia, introduced her to a lawyer who worked an upfront fee only for a percentage if she won, and winning was a given. Ashley swallowed the lump in her throat. It's just, I meant well. Linda put her cup down and crossed her arms over her chest. You wanted what was best. For whom? For me or for yourself? Ashley looked down. You don't understand. Ashley grabbed the phone again. Oh, I already got a down payment on the house. Linda raised her eyebrows. How much? Ashley gripped the phone tighter. 50,000. Linda could hardly contain her smile. That's it. Do you know that if the deal falls through, you have to give the money back? Ashley jerked her head up. What? Read the contract? It's in black and white. In it, Ashley panicked, opened the email on her phone, looked at the contract, and her face paled even more. I can't give it back. I've already spent some of it. Linda nodded. I knew it. In a shed, seen her daughter's new purse, expensive makeup, and fresh manicure. Ashley was sure that the money she received would be hers forever, but now she was on the verge of financial disaster. Well, Anna, Linda stood up and came closer. I think we need to talk about how you're going to live now. Ashley swallowed nervously. What do you mean? It's simple. You're staying here, but you're paying me now. Linda smiled. Anna, we'll call it rent. Ashley opened her mouth to protest, but she couldn't say anything. She'd set herself up for a trap, and now Linda was making the rules of the game. Ashley sat on the couch with her fingers on her temples, her mind whirling like a hurricane. She was sure that everything would go according to her plan. That her mother would silently sign the documents, move to a boarding house, and she would get the money. But now everything was ruined. And worse, she was trapped in a trap of her own making. Ashley read the contract again. The money she had received in advance had to be returned. But she didn't have that kind of money anymore. Her credit card was overdrawn. Her account was barely enough for the next month. And now she had to pay? Mom. Linda, her voice sounded unnaturally sweet. Linda had been drinking her tea without even looking up. Yes. We can find a compromise, right? Linda finally looked at her. Oh, now you're talking about compromise. Ashley swallowed. Well, we're family. Linda leaned closer. That didn't stop you from wanting to put me in a home. Mom, I just thought it would be better. Ashley looked down. Better for who? Silence. Ashley stood up abruptly. It's not fair. Linda calmly took a sip of her tea. Fair enough. But I can't pay you. Linda raised her eyebrows. Was it easy for me when I spent the last of my money on you? Ashley clenched her fists. Mom, I'm your daughter, and you're my tenant. Ashley looked like she was about to cry. Linda remained unmoved. It's your choice, Ashley. I made a mistake. Oh, so you realize that now. Silence. Linda sighed. You'll learn to take responsibility for your actions. Ashley realized she had no choice. And Linda. For the first time in years, she felt a real victory. The next few days passed in a strange calm. Ashley didn't make a scene, didn't cry, didn't ask for anything. She just walked around the house in silence, hardly looking at Linda. But Linda knew it wasn't over. Ashley was not the type to give up, and she was right. One morning, Linda woke up to an annoying doorbell. She opened it and saw two men in business suits. One held a file, the other a paper cup of coffee. Linda Mason. Yes, that's me. The man with the folder handed her a document. You must leave the house within 2 weeks. Linda looked over the pages. It was a new sales contract, and it had her signature on it. Linda slowly looked up. There must be some mistake. I didn't sign this. None of the men looked at each other. But it has your signature, ma'am. Her fingers tightened on the document. She realized what had happened. Ashley had forged her signature. Linda walked into the house and Ashley was already waiting for her in the kitchen. She was sitting at the table, tapping her fingernail on a glass of water. So, Mom, what's the news? Linda slowly put the papers on the table. What is this? Ashley shrugged. Something that should have happened earlier. Did you forge my signature? Prove it. Linda pursed her lips. This is a criminal case, Ashley. Ashley shrugged again. But who's going to believe an old woman? Linda felt anger boiling inside her, but she couldn't let it go. She had to be smarter. You know what? What? I already made a call. Ashley stopped. Aoya to whom? Linda smiled. The police. Ashley turned white. You're bluffing. Linda put the phone on the table. Go ahead, check it. Ashley reached out but stopped suddenly, her face tense. Mom, let's talk. Linda crossed her arms. Oh, now you want to talk. Ashley turned away. I just wanted to make my life better. Linda shook her head, and I wanted you to be human. Ashley was silent. Outside the window, she could hear a siren wailing. A Bakumasi door slammed. Linda stood in the living room, arms folded across her chest. Ashley threw herself around the room, grabbing at her phone, her bag, her own hair. She was panicking. Mom, you're kidding, right? You didn't call the police. Linda didn't answer. But the next moment, there was a distinct knock at the door. Ashley froze. Linda calmly walked to the door and opened it. 2 police officers stood on the doorstep. Aim is Linda Mason. Yes, that's me. The police entered the house. Did you file a fraud report? Linda nodded and handed over the documents. One of the officers looked at the papers and then looked at Ashley. Ashley Mason, we need to talk to you. Ashley clenched her fists. There's been a misunderstanding. Then do you mind if we see your financial records? I want to talk to a lawyer. That's your right, the officer replied calmly. Ashley turned her gaze to Linda. Her eyes were burning. You can't do this to me. Linda sighed calmly. Why can't I? Ashley took a step forward. I'm your daughter. You're a fraud. Mom, please. Linda was silent. Then she said what was the final blow. There's more. Ashley turned pale. What do you mean? Linda walked over to the dresser, pulled out another folder, and placed it on the table. Ashley took a nervous breath. Linda opened the folder and pointed to the first page. Everything. The house, the insurance. It belongs to other people now. Ashley reached for the papers, but the policeman made a warning gesture. To whom? Her voice trembled. Linda smiled. To my favorite charity. Ashley gasped. You disinherited me. Linda nodded. That's right. Ms. Ashley Mason, you're going to have to come with us. Ashley was pale as chalk. Linda turned to the window. She didn't want to listen anymore. She had given her daughter a chance, and she had blown it. The door closed. The house was silent again. And Linda, for the first time in a long time, finally felt at peace. And the process had been going on for months. Ashley, after she was arrested, tried to find a lawyer to appeal Linda's decision. But all her attempts were in vain. Linda watched from the sidelines, feeling her life filled with a sense of victory. One morning, a policeman knocked on her door. Mrs. Mason, you have a visitor. Who is it? Your daughter. Linda put down her book and went to the door. Ashley stood in the doorway, her face distinctly changed, her eyes tired. Linda sighed here. Ashley was silent until her eyes rested on her mother. Mom, I have nowhere else to go. Linda silently opened the door, allowing her daughter to enter. I don't want you to stay here, Linda said without looking up. Ashley sat down on a chair and lowered her head. I don't know where else to be, Mom. You made your choice, but I don't have any other options. Linda looked up at her with a pained look. You chose. A lost opportunity. Ashley sobbed. I would have done anything to have. To have everything back the way it was. Linda tilted her head as if sensing the loss. But you don't want to understand the main thing, Ashley? What? We can't turn back time. Ashley turned away from Linda, gritting her teeth. You won't forgive me, will you? I do. Ashley turned quickly to her. What? Forgiving and accepting are different. Those words pierced her. You don't want me back, do you? Linda took a deep breath. I want you to change. I want you to understand. Ashley stood up and took a few steps toward the window. Mom, you've always been right, and I don't understand why you've punished me like this. Linda walked over to her. Finished. You chose this path, Ashley. You chose to abandon your choice not long ago, even when I tried to save you. Ashley was silent, unable to find the words to answer. Linda put her hand on her daughter's shoulder. You have one chance, Ashley. You can start over. You can rebuild your life if you really want to. Ashley began to cry. But how am I supposed to do that? My reputation is ruined. People don't respect me anymore. Yes, but you can fix it. You can change. For yourself and for others. Ashley wiped away her tears and looked at her mother. I don't know if I can do it. Linda touched her hand. All I want is your happiness. Your freedom. Your ability to make the right choice. You can see I can't make all the decisions for you. Ashley sucked in a breath. I don't know if I can. Linda was silent for a few seconds. I love you, baby. And that's why I'm not going to keep you locked up in the past anymore. You have to go out and live your life. You're really letting me go. You're not my child anymore in the way you used to be. You're an adult. And I don't have the right to make decisions for you anymore. It's up to you. Ashley slowly walked to the door. Mom, I don't know what's going to happen next. Hearing this, Linda took a deep breath and looked at her daughter with tenderness. You will find your way if you want to. Ashley stopped in front of the door, but turned back before she went out. The door closed behind her. Linda remained standing, staring down the empty hallway, feeling that her daughter might actually have a chance at a new life. But it was her choice, and there was nothing Linda could do to change it.